Hello, this is Nathan, better known as CrazyhermitDM, and this is my podcast, The Hermit's Homebrew. Joining me today is Brent from Langeministudio that can be found on Instagram, as well as Kilk, who can be found on TikTok as well as Twitter.
Wait, we were talking about Xingxi and the scrying, and I don't think you guys were fully prepared, or well, maybe not prepared, but definitely weren't expecting the cameo for sure.
No, I was not expecting that. No.
Yeah, I know
I
you
wasn't
guys.
expecting to be handed his eyeball. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, and come to find out, Colfax is basically carrying around his brother's eye. I'm gonna let Nick come up with it. I had to come up with that up on the fly. It's like I'm gonna let Nick
We can
decide
retcon a little bit.
Oh no. I'm gonna when Nick decides that he is feeling better and can play at the table, Nick gets to decide why that eye is there.
Okay. No,
Because
he must have rolled something crazy
he
because he had a -10 and he still almost passed my spell save on that.
yeah, like Xingxi had it. He rolled a 17. He didn't roll too high. He has like a +2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought he had a 17 and that was with the -10. And I'm like, dang, he had 27. Because since I had his eyeball, they get a -10 to noticing.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even calculate that. So.
So you said 17. I was like, sheesh.
It's like, yeah, you rolled a goddamn 20 or 27. Holy cow!
Oh, so technically, okay, he rolled a 7.
I'm even more scared.
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, he still failed and I still saw him, right? But like, that was crazy.
Wow.
He's got enough. We'll say that he's Blue Dragon enough. We can say that he rolled 27.
Well, he also has the Eye of Odin, and
Yeah,
Odin's
he's
literally
got,
the
yeah,
god
Odin.
of
Yeah.
wisdom. So maybe he end up having like
some advantage on all wisdom saves.
I wouldn't. I mean, he has the Eye of Odin. I would not be surprised. But we got over to, so like you get caught scrying on him. You guys weren't even expecting him to be on the bridge.
No, I was not.
And then when you guys started like toying on that, like I in my DM mind, I was like toying. It's like, should he not be on the bridge? Should he be somewhere else? Should it just be his foot soldier? Should I come up with another reason on the fly why they're blockading this? I'm like, I go, you know what? Nope, I'm going over the top. I go, they're level 14. It's time to start pulling out the power players.
Yeah.
I go, and like officially, like I meant to say it at the beginning of that session. It's like, welcome to the third act.
Yeah.
This is the third act of the campaign now.
Yeah, we're starting to get stuff done. We're starting to get answers. We're starting to do all of that. So yeah, it is interesting that he was there, but in my mind, okay, cool. We don't know what he's doing.
Exactly.
We don't know what his plans are. So
I was just going to bring it up. You guys don't know why he's there.
Yeah,
I do. I actually have a plan, the reason why he's there. But you guys
I don't like this plan if it's what I think it is, but.
You guys were given options though, because Toy Bar went and talked to Kroll, Bird Bro, and like the Paladorian guard of Xingxi, and basically like I think Kroll kind of like, hey, it's probably not a smart idea. Like Xingxi's not a talker or a negotiator, but if you're here on a diplomatic commission of like somebody else and not yourself, he'll probably he won't kill the messenger.
Right. But, when I was like, what does he think about Surtur? And Bird Bro was like, he thinks he's a bitch.
But I mean,
I was like, oh, okay.
I mean, even Xingxi last campaign when he was actually being played by Nick, he thought everybody was a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's true.
I mean...
Except for Knob Slobber or whatever his name was.
Oh, Sanak Murhammer.
Mucus Knob.
Yeah. Probably one of the top 5 like heavy like roleplay moments I've ever seen out of a player.
Nice.
His PTS break when he saw this Knoll was hilarious.
Almost to the point where I thought like Nick was actually having PTSD or channeling some sort of PTSD.
So good.
It's like
it was so good.
I've had another player like that, but like to where you're sitting there as a DM and you're watching somebody roleplay. It's like, are you showing me your true colors?
Yeah,
You're
it's
doing this a little too good.
Are you okay? Yeah.
Like back in 4th edition and the second ever campaign I ever played, you met like the NPC version of him in that first campaign with Cade, that Ezekiel gnome wizard. The player that played him, like the original person.
Yeah.
Like there's a couple of moments where it's just like, is the dude I'm super close with and my friend that I've known for almost a decade a secret serial killer? Because you are way too methodical about some of the things you're doing here.
Yeah, it just questions. Yeah, a couple of questions come up. You just go, huh?
Because he was an evil gnome wizard. He'd kill people, and the way he'd dispose of the bodies, you could tell he thought this out.
He just watched one too many true crime stories.
Possibly.
Right.
Or he's done it from experience.
Yeah, you're like, we're just not going to pull on that thread because I'm not going to be next. Oh god, that's always interesting where you just kind of look at someone and go, "Are you a serial killer?" Because now I don't know. Great.
So Toy Bar goes back to the group, explains that hey, it was kind of a no-go on the negotiations.
Yep.
You know, or do you want to wait out 2 days before the camp moves or whatever? And the group said no, not really. And then you consulted Mahadi, your sword.
Yeah, I talked about how do we get across this bridge? Yeah, is there another way to cross or something like that? Yeah.
And he pointed out these old smuggling caverns that basically he'd used a century before.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys rolled all insights on him on that. You could tell that he was telling the truth. And then he led straight to the caverns and then was getting lost inside. And then you guys rolled another insight of he might be laying this on a little too thick, but you have that feeling of, okay, he's actually, not maybe fully knowing where he's going.
Yeah, he's genuinely like, I'm not 100% sure what's going on here.
Yeah. Because about halfway through the caverns that you guys are navigating, you find basically 2 gnoll skeletons that are basically fed on some sort of celestial.
Yeah, 2 gnoll skeletons that were chained to the wall. And then in front of them was a skeleton, like, rotting corpse of a celestial. And it's just kind of like, whoa, what are...
And you
Gnolls
guys
are not indigenous to Muspelheim.
And the map to this place I was using actually from the Descent to Avernus book for a place called the Scab, which was this big word thing that holds Zariel's sword, or where it's hidden away.
Oh, okay, cool.
And so I was basically using it for the same thing. This is Gilvickle's hidey hole.
Yep.
Or he's smuggled it down here. And if you guys chose all the right path straight towards there, I didn't have to like bend.
You didn't lead us by the nose. We actually made like good decisions.
Yeah. Right, left, right, and all this. And if you guys took a wrong turn, you would have found out
real quick
why there was 2 gnoll skeletons and a celestial there.
Oh. Well, now I kind of want to go back.
Yeah. But you guys get to these big golden doors that were enchanted by old dwarvian artificer magic, basically the alpha magic of this setting. Because there's Eitri, there's Broker, and there's Sindri. That's right. Part of like Nordic mythology, and they crafted basically all the artifacts for the Nordic gods. Like
yeah, they made Mjolnir.
They Odin's spear, Gungnir.
They crafted the... I forgot the ring's name.
The ring of gold that basically, like, in D&D terms, if you touched it once a day, it multiplied into 7 more rings, or if you touched any of those rings, it multiplied into 7, and basically broke the economy. Yeah,
to where you could hit it and just tink, 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 and here's gold rings. Like, oh, okay, cool, thanks. And walk off, yeah. But yeah, it'd be with an N, I think. Yeah, whatever. Anyway. Doesn't matter. But basically all the original artifacts of like the legendary artifacts of this setting. Yeah, we're all dwarven made, because they were like the badasses. But you come across these doors and then try and figure out kind of how to open them. I mean, they're kind of shaped almost in that classical like 90s fantasy. You find the Doomsday door in the middle of a cavern type thing. Yeah, it was this like old like dank cavern that was dark and everything, to where we had to have a torch for Toy Bar to see, and all of a sudden, hey, here's 2 really huge golden vault doors with dwarven script all over them. Huh, that's important. Did Vicky ever say after the session how she felt about
coming across her golem?
Oh, the golem.
She is not. That is not. We haven't really talked about it, I guess is a good way to put it.
Because you could tell, I could tell by the expression on her face she was a little like sad.
Yeah.
Because that was her first basically like companion.
Yeah, it was the only one of the 3 that survived, and we had like gone out of our way to like make sure he didn't die, and also here he is dead. Like, oh.
And the soul had basically been taken out of the golem for whatever purpose that will be revealed.
Oh, probably to jumpstart some machine, or some apparatus of some sort.
And then you guys enter the doors, and that's where we left off. Was basically that second room where you guys made some noise and basically got the attention of
to where there's these
like
metal balls rolling towards us. Yeah, and then that's where you went. Yeah. It's like, oh, shit.
I was like, is this a what was it?
Indiana Jones ball that I think you made the reference to.
Yes, the Indiana
Jones and Temple of Doom ball. Yeah, it's like, no, it's not that big. Man, there's multiple ones, right?
Yeah. I made it. What was it? I said it sounded like metallic, basically balls rolling on a stone surface, and then I gave it like, for somebody that has insane perception like Tove, it sounds basically like the size of like those rolling battle droids on Star Wars: The Phantom Menace.
Yeah, they're like human-sized like balls, like rolling towards us. Which great. What are these?
Yeah, but I don't think like you guys fully expected to like run back into Gilvickle.
No, I was expecting him to be on the other side of the map personally.
Yeah,
it's like, well, we'll probably see him when we go confront Rathgrith. Honestly, I was expecting to see Gilvickle when we went to go see Rathgrith. That was when I was expecting him to show up again.
That was my initial plan, and then I'd found the scab in the book, and then I'd found this is where it's being held, and this had been part of my plan all along of like, this is how I convert this to this. I'm like, and then I just decided to pull the trigger right then. It's like, okay, we're having, setting up.
All right.
For the third act. Like, this is the season opener for the third act.
Now that, and me metagaming a little bit, knowing that this is Gilvickle's little hidey hole, now I have a really, really big question is, did he find Rathgrith's sword, and has he already gotten it back to her? Because if he has it still, that's good for us.
Yeah.
But if he has already given it back to Rathgrith, that's bad. But then it also begs the question of, okay, if he had the sword and he brought it back to Rathgrith, why did he leave?
Yeah.
And why is he now on his own again? Why isn't he back with his quote-unquote leader or general or whatever he looks at?
I mean, it's a good point, because you guys have caught a couple, but you guys really have not caught any breaks this campaign. It's just been basically turning up the dial, turning up the dial, turning up the dial.
Oh,
turning
yeah.
up the dial.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Turning up the pain.
And that's fine. You made reference earlier that the last 2 sessions, like, we've kind of blasted through, right? We're advancing the story pretty quickly. And I don't, as a player, that's fine with me.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Absolutely, yeah.
And, maybe it doesn't make campaigns take 2 years, right? If we go through them quickly, but we have a tendency to BS a lot, so.
That is one of the things that I have noticed is that we do kind of get off topic a little bit, and that's fine because we're, like I said, we're here to have fun,
and we're all friends,
So yeah, that's totally fine. But yeah, like there have been times where we'll be like on a conversation, and then all of a sudden, oh hey, side tangent. Oh wait, we're doing this now, right? So yeah, we're not just like hammering it hard for 4 to 5 hours of D&D.
No, and then if you guys get on a good side tangent, as a DM, I recommend anyone with your players, if they're all good friends, they've known each other for years, this is one of the few main ways they can talk. Let them have their little side tangent for 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, guys, what are you doing?
So what are we doing here? Yeah, exactly.
And then if it keeps happening, it keeps happening. Sometimes you'll have better session or good sessions. You'll have really bad sessions. Yeah. Me and Brent have both had those sessions where we're just okay, we're a little too ADD this session, so we're calling it a little.
Yeah, we're
early.
just gonna call it 2 hours early. Yeah.
And then, I know you experience that, especially when Pokemon Go is at its height, and there's a gym down the street.
Yeah. Oh, that was such bad. That's just bad. I don't even know what because that's not like bad timing. It's just because it was just. Did it have to be so close?
Yeah.
Did it really have to be there? Come
on. The person's house we're at was like a half block away. There's a church which they made into a gym.
Yeah. So it's like, come on.
So like during our mid-session break, because we'd play hard, and we wouldn't get so much on side tangents as much as this group.
Yeah.
But we would take like, all right, we're gonna go take a 20-minute break, run down to the gas station that's like a block away, run back, and then finish the session.
Yeah,
Kinda
go get
like
some drinks or whatever. Yeah,
kind of like what streamers do or whatever when they're streaming online, and they go, okay, we're going to go take a 15-20-minute bathroom break, and then we'll be back after this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which if we do...
We'll be back.
Yeah.
After these messages from our sponsors.
Which our sponsors, we'd actually have sponsors for this now. It's RFI Prints on Instagram and Menstrual, who's basically almost on all major platforms.
Yeah,
and
shout out to those guys.
Yeah, big shout out to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
was actually on RFI.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on their website. They've got a lot of really cool stuff.
Yeah, and reasonably priced.
Yeah.
And that's just not me plugging them because they're a sponsor. It's literally...
No, it's like legitimate. Like, I was not... There's been a couple of sites where I'm like, okay, that's really cool looking, but I'm not going to pay $30 or $40 for that.
Yeah.
No, they're like...
Right.
They're actually like... Not bad.
No.
Not bad.
No. And
so props to them.
He, the owner and all that, will be printing me out the Tomb of Horrors for Midwest Fest.
Hell yeah.
So I'm hoping... I got 2 Tomb of Horrors scheduled for Saturday and Sunday for 4-hour slots.
Oh, nice.
For anyone that is interested in going to Midwest Fest and meeting me, I'll be more than happy to meet you. I did make an announcement on Instagram. All-in-One Gaming is going to be sponsoring our side of it at least. And then be able to check all that out.
Sweet. I have not had the pleasure.
I've run it 2 or 3 times. It's fun. That's part of the reason why I'm running it.
Nice.
But so you guys left off basically in Gil Vickel's kind of like hidey hole or extra dimensional hidey hole because you like recognize that, okay, this shouldn't be here. This is extra dimensional.
Yeah, because that's what Mahadi was like, what's going on here? This wasn't here 100 years ago. And it's ancient dwarven script, like Flint, the resident dwarf, was like, yeah, this isn't a dialect that's in use anymore. Like, it's going to take me a minute to decipher.
No, it would be the equivalent of if you're reading English and then this is literally Anglo-Saxon.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So it's like, oh, that's crazy that it wasn't here 100 years ago, but it's like the old language. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, we crossed that threshold and like what you had like Toy Bar do like Arcana or something like that.
Yeah. And you're basically in an opulent like palace type setting of like marble floors, fine, distinguished everything, detailed on the marble, and everything looks super nice.
Yeah, it's kind of what's going on here? All right.
The other thing that got set up that I wanted to bring up for the podcast is Tove did go out and scout the Xingxi encampment, like being the proper rogue, and she aced her checks and all that. But I said, you count out this encampment, there's like 50 to 100 people here, and then I go, but off in the distance, and it's probably another day or 2 ride, you see the top of the volcano.
Yeah, it's like, this thing is huge.
Yeah.
It's, I think, is it at the end of the Fellowship, or is it 2 towers where they're kind of off in the mountains and they're walking, but you see Mount Doom off in the background.
Yeah, off in the distance, yeah.
And that's how it's showing how big it is.
Yeah, and then, or if you just watched The Hobbit, when they see Erebor, like the first time, and it's like, yeah, they come over a hill, and it's just like huge like plains and like forests over here, and then all of a sudden there's just a mountain out in the middle of frickin' nowhere, and it's it's gigantic. Yeah. Like, okay, so that's kind of what I'm envisioning is like, okay, cool, we're walking along the blasted wasteland that's Muspelheim, and there's we're all baking in the heat, and there's persistent like twilight or dawn from just ambient light, and there's lava everywhere, and hey, there's a volcano over there that's, you know, bigger than anything we've ever seen. That's a perfect place to hide a Godspark.
Oh yeah, I mean, who's gonna assume that it's in basically probably one of the biggest volcanoes?
I wouldn't want to go there.
No.
That's for sure.
And then you guys were smart and brought up the point of, well, if there's a Godspark there and the gods knew about this, and it was post Ragnarok that they hid this here, what do they got guarding it?
There's something big guarding it. Yeah, there has to be. Either
all I can think about is that red dragon that flew over us when we showed up. That's all I'm thinking.
You know, I forgot
Remember
about
when we landed.
I
with
forgot
Caspian
about
and
that. I forgot about that until you brought it up.
It was flying overhead, and he's like, "Nope," and he bitched out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that ancient red dragon or something like that just flew over and he just goes, "Yeah, I'm not doing this." Whoop.
I mean, and at the time that was Kaskin, the Archmage, doing
and now he's dead, retired.
He stepped down for health reasons.
Okay, so he's retired, and now Silvera, who's traveling with us, is the new Archmage of the Mage Council.
Uh-huh.
Which
didn't he have magical gout?
Magical what?
Gout? Wasn't
Magical
like
gout.
That?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, and to bring a little bit more realism to it, when you were bringing up Kaskin, I had said, you know, there's some diseases that magic just can't cure, and this unfortunately is, you know, when you have a life of gluttony and eating well and all that sort of stuff.
You mean this guy can't do a level 9 wish spell?
I mean, sure he could, but then what happened? I mean, he also knows the, you know, rectifications of wish and making sure things are worded perfectly.
Because in your world, right, it's not as simple as just casting wish.
No.
There's major implications to casting that spell.
No, and
if done in.
Oh yeah, and like I think we mentioned it a couple episodes back. You know, I was always a big fan of that TV series Once Upon a Time. Of the, you know, with very powerful magic, everything comes at a cost.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, you wish to become rich, or right? The classic one that you always hear online. Oh, I wish for 1 million gold. All right, here's 1 million gold. It just came and you don't know it quite at first, but it just came from a dragon sword, and that dragon knows.
And that dragon is now angry and coming at you.
Right.
Yeah, or, you know, I wish to live forever. Okay. You still age, but you won't die.
Yep.
Good job. Thanks. We're definitely getting to the point to where a lot of, like, stories are starting to intersect, and everything is starting to come to a head. Yeah. And I'm really interested for the conversation with Gil, because Toybar is his only friend. Mm-hmm. Because of the monkey.
Rathgriff is not even his friend. Think about that anymore. If he considered Rathgriff a friend before because they were fighting in the same cause, she is technically no longer his friend.
And he basically acted on all your guys' meta decisions of, listen, if this was probably really me, I might actually be on her side, because she brings up a valid point of she's sacrificing 2 cities for 9 realms. It's, you know, greater good type thing of it's making sense.
2 cities to save known reality.
Now I'm sitting here, like, Nate's looking at me weird because I'm looking off into the middle foreground, like, going through an existential, like, debate in my head. For it's like, oh, wow,
Is
yeah.
he wrong?
Oh, no, I think I've said, like, earlier
Maybe.
that, you know, yeah, in the grand scheme of things, if you have no better option, yeah, at what cost is 2 cities to save 9 realms of billions of lives?
We also know that Xingshi is also down to take out the Aberration, the Overlord.
Yeah.
Right? He wants the Overlord gone as well. And that was one of the reasons. I just didn't remember while I was sitting there if Toybar knew this. Right? As a player, I know this, but I just didn't know if Toybar really remembered it. So I didn't really I didn't go down that road. Because otherwise, I would have been like, "Oh, we'll just tell him we're down to try to kill. We're trying to stop the Overlord too. I've seen that guy. He looks crazy." Like that would have been intriguing to Xingshi. Me telling him that I've seen the Overlord.
Is that what Xingshi's paranoid about?
What, the Overseer?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Overseer stole, like, in our previous campaign, and Nick could probably confirm this, like, one of the things that drove Nick to want to kill the Overseer is the Overseer stole his only love interest. Like, NPC love interest. Like, outright took her.
Oh.
Yeah, did. When they invaded the city. Right?
What?
Was that when we had the dwarven bowling into the into the apparitions?
Okay, dwarven bowling?
In the previous campaign, one of the arcs before the last one, like session 30s or whatever, the group made it to Thalome, like the capital White Star, where like the castle and like where Cade fought Fenrir and all.
But so yeah, I recognize that city.
Yeah. The aberrations attacked the capital, like opened up portals above the city and attacked, and they were testing defenses.
While we were in it.
Okay.
Like this happened while we were in the city.
Dang.
It turned into this huge battle, and then Letha doesn't like dwarves. She just grabbed one of the dwarven adventures and did dwarf bowling into the aberrations so that we could escape.
They were like level 10. There's like a level, basically equivalent of like a level 5 adventuring party inside this tavern while all this attack was happening. And that dwarf goes, "I'm not going outside during all that." And she basically grabs him by the collar, picks him up, because she was like a 7-foot something Valkyrie. She's like the female Shaquille O'Neal of Valkyries. And
he was a stat monster. Like her stats were crazy.
Yeah, and she was down for all basically acquiring through trades and legitimate ways, not just like power gaming, stat items. She's gearing up to fight Odin.
Yeah.
She knew she had to get those type of things. So they fought off this invasion, but she grabbed this dwarf by like the scruff of his neck, basically almost like a dog or a cat, and just threw him out into the streets, and you're fighting.
Like, oh God. Oh.
He bowled him right into a group of dudes just so he would die. It was a murder hobo moment, unfortunately, but like thinking about it, I was like, oh, that was dwarven bowling from a 7-foot tall Amazonian Valkyrie.
Jesus.
I mean, she had the strength to do it. But that's where we captured Rathgriff in that battle.
Yep. That's where. Yeah, that's where Rathgriff decided to change sides. You captured her and took her the sword, and she had the robe of eyes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like the Overseer robe of eyes.
It was really cool. Honestly, that whole like adventure through the city, like with the aberrations just popping up and the city guard everywhere fighting everything, and we had to try to get through all this stuff. Like it was really cool.
Like
because we were in a tavern and there was just another little adventuring party there, and so we grabbed him. We're like, "You're coming with us, guys."
Yeah,
I almost saved that orc too.
And that's I
almost saved the orc.
Yeah. Then you guys fought like a Starspawn Colossus or like a homebrew version of it.
Ooh, those are nasty.
That every time you hit it, it like screamed and psychic damage around it.
Because it was
cool.
Basically, they're harvesting like corpses or whatever, and it just turned into this giant corpse golem type thing. Started going. I got that idea from I think it was the 3rd season of Stranger Things, where it was just like a giant flesh monster that was attacking them.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I want that in my D&D campaign.
Huh. That's right.
But everything's kind of like, with our campaign kind of coming back to it as now that we're going to kind of rehashing history. It, like you said, Brent, it's all coming to a head finally.
Yeah.
It's winding, not down by any means.
It's winding up.
Yeah.
If anything, we're getting to that climax moment, and the thing is, we're gonna have probably 3 or 4 like key moments in this climax of like, okay, this is where, like, there's like a major story moment to where people could legitimately die.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of scared of that But it's also like one of those things where, okay, well, this is what we're here for, you know? We need to solve these issues.
It brings up an interesting point. It's like, yeah, your lives are probably on the line. You guys got a couple of jail-free...
Yeah, we got a couple of,
and plenty of diamonds to bring you back, if it's possible, however you die. I mean, there's also lots of monster abilities that kind of counteract that, like Disintegrate.
Yeah.
Like, and a Beholder, which that's what this Overseer thing is, can disintegrate.
Hey tabletop gamers, thank you for watching this episode of the Hermit's Homebrew. We come out with new episodes every Wednesday. Remember to like, subscribe, and share with your friends as we continue to level up and grow.